So one day in India, a woman named Sheena, who had been preparing for a wedding, all of a sudden decided she no longer wanted the wedding. She packed her things, quit her job, and then she left India without telling anyone. When her husband to be Rahul learned of this, he was surprised because Sheena was really looking forward to the wedding. They both loved each other, so why would she just decide to leave the country without telling him anything or telling him why? Rahul suspected something else might be going on, and so he went to different police stations to report the case. But every police station he went to gave him the same response: Sheena had left the country. But Rahul still refused to believe them. He continued his search on his own, going from places to place in search of his beloved Sheena, but still he couldn't find her. Eventually, he got tired, he gave up, and then he moved on with his life. He just accepted things the way they were. Now, 3 years later, a driver named Rai got arrested by the police for the illegal possession of a gun. In India, before you can own a gun, it must be registered, but somehow Rai got access to a gun without registration, and so he was arrested. After the arrest, the police began interrogating Rai. Now, I don't know the type of interrogation method they used on Rai, but Rai was so terrified after the interrogation to the point where he didn't only confess to the police how he got the gun, but he also confessed to other crimes he had done. One of the crimes was participating in burning a lady 3 years ago. The police asked who this lady was, and Rai revealed it was Sheena, the lady whom everyone thought had left India a few months before her wedding. The police then asked Rai why he burnt her, and Rai said he was instructed to. The police replied, "By whom?" And that's when Rai gave an answer that shocked everyone. He told them that it was Sheena's own sister named Indrani that instructed him to burn her. Now, this story is quite confusing, so I need you to pay close attention. To understand why a sister would instruct that her own sister be killed and burnt, we have to go back to 28 years ago when this whole story began. Let's rewind. You see, around this time, Indrani was just 16 years old, and in secondary school, she also had a boyfriend. Unfortunately, while messing around with this boyfriend, he impregnated her twice and she gave birth to two children, Sheena and Nikhil. Now in India, having two children at just 16 years old outside of marriage will destroy your reputation and even bring shame to your family's name. Indrani knew this, and so after giving birth to both Sheena and Nikhil, she gave the children to her parents and her parents claimed them. By doing so, people assumed Sheena and Nikhil were Indrani's siblings, not knowing they were her own children, and this simple act allowed Indrani to live her life without a ruined reputation. When Indrani grew up and was ready for marriage, she married her first husband and had a child with him, but unfortunately the marriage didn't last long, and so they split up. After the split, Indrani met another man named Peter, a very rich man who she later got married to. After the marriage, she and Sheena moved into Mr. Peter's house where he lived with his son. Now remember, once again, to everyone, Sheena was just Indrani's sister, while in reality, she was her daughter. Indrani kept this secret from everyone, including her new husband Peter. Now, here is where things got twisted. While all of them were living together, you know the way Indian family live together, while they were all living together, Rahul, who is Peter's own son, began catching feeling for Sheena, his stepsister. Sheena herself also liked him, and soon they began a relationship. But you see, this relationship was a big problem for Indrani. She didn't like the idea of stepsister dating stepbrother. Also, she feared that if Sheena got married to Rahul, the big secret of Sheena being her own daughter would get exposed and ruin her reputation. People would no longer respect her, they would just see her as a promiscuous girl who had two children at 16. And even worse, Mr. Peter might divorce her and she would, have to return back to poverty. Because of this, Indrani tried convincing Shino to end the relationship with Rahul, but Shino refused. Instead, the love between her and Rahul grew even stronger to the point where they began preparing for their wedding. When Indrani saw it had, gotten to this point, like they are already talking about wedding, she knew that regular words couldn't convince Shina, and that's when she decided to use action. So one day she called Sheena and told her to come to a shop. Sheena, who wasn't expecting anything evil to happen, this is literally her mom. So she went to the shop, and when she arrived at the shop, with the help of Indrani's driver, Rai, they drugged Sheena, killed her, burnt her body, and then dumped her burnt corpse in a hidden location. To cover their tracks, they then drafted a fake resignation letter and sent it to Sheena's workplace. In the letter was a message of Sheena saying she was leaving India to start a new life. Meanwhile, she was dead. Her own mother killed her and started the lie that she left the country. All this was what Rai confessed to after he was arrested for possessing an illegal weapon. So, after this confession, the police had to reopen the case, they began investigating, and eventually they arrested Indrani, Rai, and also Indrani's ex husband because he also participated in the crime. They were charged to court, but instead of the court, sentence them immediately, the court kept on postponing and postponing and postponing the case until one by one each of them was released on bail. And ever since they've all been released, none of them has, been sentenced or anything like that up until 2026. None of them did any serious jail term for the murder of Sheena. Till this day, like, the case is still being postponed. While Rai and Rani and also her ex-husband are all living their life, while the blood of Sheena plead for justice. Some people say the reason why the case went this way is because Peter happens to be a wealthy man, and perhaps he has used, some of his influence to, subdue the case.